Hey everybody, how's it going? It's your boy Halucha Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee. I'm here with another Raw review. Raw today, it was interesting. That's the word that I will say. It was an interesting show. There was not a lot of wrestling. There was more storyline and segments than there was wrestling. But all in all, it wasn't horrible. Um, I'm just gonna get into it. Uh, Subscribe if you haven't already. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And here we are going to go into Monday Night Raw. So first off, Raw starts off with them, Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and Samoa Joe. They're all talking, whatever. The lights start messing up. They're flickering. Tom Phillips was saying, "Hey, there's like some storm or something that's going on in the performance center or outside the performance center or whatever." Lights go off. They're like, "Hey, what's going on?" Stuff like that. Turn back on. All that other good stuff. Uh, so they do that. They talk about they don't know what's going on. Hopefully everything gets situated. Apollo Crews comes out. First thing we start is Apollo versus MVP versus for the United States Championship. Who's the real United States champion? Apollo Crews has the old title. MVP has the new title. They fight. MVP talks trash to him, saying that he hasn't been there and he carried everything because the Hurt Business beat him up. Blah blah blah. Yeah, the match. It was okay. It wasn't really long. It was like Apollo had a lot of control during the beginning. He was, you know, taking everybody out. And then I think when as soon as he like does like a suicide before the commercial goes out, I think the lights flicker again and they go out and then it goes to commercial. It comes back. They show from commercial that Bobby Lashley was doing underhanded tactics to Apollo Crews. MVP gets the upper hand a little bit. I think he tries to go for one of his corner kicks and then he misses. He tries to go for his like big thing power bomb. MVP gets out the way. He kind of struggles a little bit, and then Apollo Crews does it again. Gets it in this time for the 1, 2, 3. Still United States champion, Apollo Crews, and Bobby Lashley tries to come in and try to hit him with the full Nelson. Apollo said, "No, not today. No, no, no." Goes out and yeah, he goes on stage. He had both titles. MVP's not happy. Everybody in the Hurt Business is looking like, ah, boo. So Apollo Crews comes out and he goes backstage with Mackenzie and he's saying, "Hey, it was hard, that I would be at home because of the Hurt Business, nursing my injury or whatever. And it sucks that my kids come to me and say, 'Hey, Daddy, I thought you were United States champion.'" And that told him that he had to go back and be champ uh, once and for all. He said, "This old title right here that I got, I'm gonna put this in the kids' room, where the kids could be like, 'Hey, this is Daddy's first title that he won in WWE. Well, this title right here, hey MVP, I appreciate you, buddy. This is the one I'm gonna keep, and this is what I'm gonna take. So I appreciate you, boy.'" He goes out. MVP is having a hissy fit, like, "Hey, you not champion, you cheater. What kind of champion um, are you gonna be? That's the type of champion you want to be going under this conditions with the lights and all that." Malarkey say challenges MVP for a title match at SummerSlam. And yeah, that's that. They also announced something about the brainchild of Shane McMahon, that they have like this like really loud music and people trying to come in, but you don't know what was going on and stuff like that. So that happened. And then they do an interview with the Golden Role Models. They're getting ready for an interview. They go to commercial, come back. And then Mackenzie, she's trying to interview them, and then they're like, "Hey, we're tired of this interview. Just ask the same thing questions. You ask a question, we ask a question, we ask a question. It goes back and forth. None of that. You look at my video package. The video package is what happened last week about Sasha Banks winning the title, how she won. As soon as the video ends, Asuka's on a screen and she goes, "Revenge, baby, sweet." Hope that wasn't racial, but yeah, that's what happens. And then uh, Bailey and Sasha's having hissy fits. They're like, "How unprofessional! Who told her to do this? Said that she can go up there and all this stuff, blah 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 blah." Shayna Baszler comes. She was like, "Oh, look at you two! You guys two are having a lot of fun out here. You think you're real slick, sneaked your way into the WWE title shot. I'm the one who's been waiting, and now I'm not." Um, and then she just socks her, cold cocks her, dead in the face, and then she walks away, which was all good stuff. Uh, yeah. Oh, and the crowd cheered for her. So I don't know. I still think Shayna's out here being babyface low key. Um, KO show is next. I told you it's very promo heavy. KO show is next. He's walking to the back. Iconic's coming to interrupt him and be like, "Oh, Iconic," stuff like that. She was like, "Hey, I heard that your show's coming up next." He goes like, "Yeah, it is." He's like, "You guys should have, you should have us as your guests." He's like, "Oh yeah, I get it. I love Australia. I love you guys. I love the Iconics, but I already have a guest because I plan these things ahead. Not no schmuck or anything." So he comes out. His music plays. Goes to commercial, comes back, and uh, he was talking about Shane McMahon first. He's like, that's a whole different subject that I don't want to talk about because, of course, Kevin Owens is the one who had the. It was a career versus career match with Kevin Owens and Shane O'Mac, and that was the thing that I was talking about earlier or yesterday about Shane McMahon. Like he hasn't been back since like months, and I forgot the way it came back. I forgot it was career versus him and Owens won, so he was gone. But he was also saying there was another thing that had developed, and it was Ruby Riot, who he brought out, and then Ruby was talking. He was talking about how difficult it must be for Ruby for the past couple of weeks. We were saying, yeah, came back and I thought everything was gonna be great, but it wasn't. Then the Iconics came and they haven't made anything better, but I shut them up because they suck. Last week I shut up Billy Peyton Royce, and then Owens was like, and then she was saying, "Oh yeah, I kind of wish that Liv was by my side when I did it." And Owens was like, "Oh yeah, hey, glad you mentioned the word Liv because hey, here she is." And then Liv Morgan comes out, and Liv was saying to Ruby, "Hey, whatever you gotta say, I only did this because of Kevin Owens. Whatever you gotta say, you've been texting me, whatever. Tell me to my face." Kevin Owens comes, he's like, "Hey, before you guys, say anything, I kind of want to say that, I've been doing this, I've been kind of doing this for a while. I've known all three of you." He was saying that they got something special. Of course, Sarah Logan's out doing something else, but he said, "I think what you two still have is, special and stuff like that." And he said that he's made a lot of mistakes and, he's lost a lot of friends along the way because he thinks that being at the top is how you achieve everything. And he was saying he doesn't want the same thing to happen to them too. And then a real emotional thing between Liv and uh, my girl Ruby Riot happened. She was tearing. She was saying, "Hey, uh, I thought, when I came back, Raw, the landscape of Raw has changed, and you have changed. Sarah had changed. I thought that I was gonna come back, and I thought everything was gonna be great, but it wasn't. I thought that you guys would still need me, and it scared me that you guys didn't need me at all. I mean, Liv, you beat me not once but twice." And I didn't really know what to do, and I took out my frustration on you, and I miss you, love you, all that good stuff. And then, of course, Iconics come out, and they were saying, "Boo hoo, sob story, you're trash. Ruby, you're trash. Liv, you need to go back in the bathtub." All this sad stuff. By the like, yeah, to let you know, we're the best. Best tag team. We conquer WrestleMania. Blah 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 blah. And then Liv Morgan talked. She was like, "Hey, you guys may be best friends and whatever, but hey, me and Ruby, we still know how to start a riot." Kevin was just like, "Yeah, f you too." He didn't really say that, but it was a thing that he was like, "Yeah, we got business to do, so you two can shoo." Boom! Peyton Royce slaps Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is like, "Oh no, this girl didn't." Billy Kay said, "Yo, was that really necessary?" Billy Kay said, "Yeah." Boom! Billy Kay slaps Kevin Owens, and then he was like, "God." He's like, "Hey, can you two handle my light work?" They handled his light work, and then they come back. Match wasn't a match. It was very very short. Liv rolls up Peyton Royce. Uh, Billy Kay tries to attack him. Ruby comes and helps, and then they do some double team leg sweeper slam thing on Billy Kay while Peyton Royce watched didn't do anything about it. Oh, and Kevin Owens was on commentary. Yep. I'm gonna give this a B minus. Only the whole thing will give a B minus. I thought the segment, like the segment between Liv and Ruby and all the talking and the emotional stuff, I thought that was really really good stuff. I think that was like maybe an A-ish because they kind of gave them time to talk and air out the grievances and stuff. But the match itself was just trash, and I didn't care for it. So meet in the middle, B minus. Um, MVP is talking again, and I think Shelton Benjamin said somebody stole the 24/7 championship, which I said who would want that. Next comes out Drew with another segment, and this segment was magnifique. He so they do this. They like to do the shoot promos. These shoot promos a lot where they blur the lines between like what's real and what's fake. So Drew comes out. He was like, "Hey, Randy. Hey, you're a smart guy. You did say that you was gonna RKO me out of nowhere. Intelligent. But what kind of person thinks that they're better than they say The Rock and better than Stone Cold Steve Austin when you have to hide behind everybody or do things underhandedly just to get what you want?" He was saying, "Hey, uh, yeah, he's like, yeah, we were supposed to be the chosen one, but that didn't really work out for neither one of us." He said, "Yeah, I got fired, but I didn't go up with silver spoon because guess what? You also was supposed to be fired." He said that a lot of people that he talked to uh, fired him. We're supposed should have fired him like a whole bunch of times, but they didn't because he's the son of Cowboy Bob Orton. When anyone comes out, he goes, "Hey, yeah, so that's how you really want to do this?" He said, "I'm trying to be nice, I'm trying to say I respect you. You come out you want to do this to me and stuff like that." So he said, "Okay, you want to talk? You want to shoot from the hip? All right, let's shoot from the hip." He said, "Yeah, you're right. I should have been fired, along with you that you got fired and left and came back. I should have been fired like two, three, four, five different times. I should have been. But you know why I didn't? Because they knew that I was the future. They knew that I was better than you. They knew that they needed me and they didn't need you." Pretty much he was saying that you was a nobody and I wasn't. He said, "Then, now, and forever, I am the chosen one." And he was saying, "Hey, despite how you literally feel, like what you say about what everybody else thinks about me, like what do you like? You want to shoot from the hip? What do you think of Randy Orton?" And then Drew McIntyre was like, "You want to know what I think about Randy Orton?" He said, "I think Randy Orton's trash." He said that Randy Orton could be one of the best, but as much as people had looked out for him, like the Undertaker said, he pulled out he got Randy pulled him up and said, "Hey, I'm gonna elevate you." He said, "How many times have you done that to people?" Randy Orton goes like this. He's like, "No, you never done it." There's a locker room full of people like Ali, like Cedric Alexander, like Ricochet, like Apollo. All these guys. He says, "You're the one that people should be looking up to you. You should be the leader." And instead, like people like the Undertaker, people like Ric Flair, people like Shawn Michaels, people like Triple H, who all like pretty much helped you in your career. It's like you've never done that at all to help anybody in your career. He says you're trash, and he says at SummerSlam he is going to do what a lot of people want him to do, and that's kick his ass. A plus. It was fire. It was amazing. It was great, and I loved every single of it. And I loved that now when they went back to Randy Orton, like when the segment over, he just kept saying, like mumbling, like mouthing, "I'm the chosen one. I'm the chosen one. I am the chosen one." I liked it. It was all good stuff. They're backstage in another segment. Not Drew. Kevin Owens was talking to Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. He was saying, "Hey, you guys did great. You got to win." Ric Flair comes in. He was like, "Hey, girl." He was like, "Hey, my boy Owens, how you doing?" He said, "Hey, ladies, how you doing?" Fist bumps him. He was like, "Hey, if you mind, I'd love to speak to Owens." And Ric Flair is so old. I love Ric Flair, but man, the guy's old, man. He's just saying, "Hey, what are you doing? Babysitting, trying to be a guidance counselor to them. You should be like at the top. You should be like champion and stuff like that." And I was just saying, "Hey, man, I respect it, but I'm just trying to, give back to, give back to people. Something that I'm sure that Randy could be doing. I think like if he wanted to do, but he doesn't. He doesn't have to. That's his business. But this is something I want to do." And then Rick was like, "Hey, yo, we're boys. I like you and everything, but." That's my boy Randy Orton. Mind your business. Keep his name out your mouth. He's like, you should be at the top, but you're not. You want to play whatever like that. And Owens goes, "Oh, you think I'm playing? You want to see the game?" He's like, "All right, well, you get your boy Randy Orton and you tell him to meet me in the ring next week." So that's gonna be a thing. Um, and then and then another segment. Nia Jax is supposed to apologize to Pat Buck, and she didn't. And Pat Buck suspended her without pay, and then she attacked him again. I don't care. It was garbage. Um, and then they went for a backstage segment, and Dominic sounded really nervous and that he wanted to um, fight Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. And that was the thing. And then we get back, and then we get Shayna versus Sasha Banks. Um, Now, finally a match. So I wrote that Shayna's style works well with Sasha. Their style works really well because they are both submission specialists. But as Samoa Joe says on commentary all the time, Sasha Banks is like a counter. She's like a counter wrestler type, and Shayna is like all smash mouth in your face, um, with the bone joint manipulation type thing. And they worked. And the chemistry worked really well. And So they were doing a lot of technical stuff. They were moving the joints. They were trying to get in the submissions and stuff like that. And randomly, Oscar comes out and attacks Bailey, and the match stops. The bell rings, and it was over. So that was weird. And then they go to commercial and they come back and another interview again. And this is what I didn't like about this because Kayla's in the ring and she goes, "Hey, we're gonna talk about how you feel about Sasha or whatever or Kyrie or whatever." We're like, but first I want to let you know, I want to show everybody what happened. And they go back to exactly what Sasha and Bailey did last week. They showed a picture. They showed the video package of what happened last week about Kyrie screaming for her and her yelling and wanting her. Like they literally just did the same thing, and they just wasted like 5 minutes to do the same thing just for Oscar to be like, "Yeah, Kyrie's okay. She's not here, but Sasha and Bailey is, and I want a rematch." Whatever. And then Shayna comes back and she was like, "Hey, you know what? I actually hope you do beat her, because if you do, when you beat her, I'm next in line and I want to rip your limbs apart." So it was so she was kind of being a baby face, but she was kind of still being herself. But there's a lot of times when you're yourself and you're like, you could get cheered just for being yourself. And it was like she didn't say anything horrible. She didn't say like, "Yo, Oscar, f you," like, because normally, like, if this was Shayna Baszler back in the day, she'd have went in that ring and she would have choked out Oscar or like fought Oscar just for getting her business, like interfering. And now she's just like, she got on mic and she goes, "Yeah, okay, that's cool. I'm not mad. Yeah, you go win that championship. You beat her. I hope you do." So when you get that championship, I beat you for it. That was kind of sort of baby facious. It's kind of like a badass baby face, like how they sort of treat their baby faces. Very rare that they treat them like that, but I dig it. Sasha Banks comes back out. She was like, "Oh yeah, you want me? You want some of this? You want this Raw Women's Championship? I well then if you want this, then you gotta beat next week a former NXT Women's Champion." I was like, okay, former NXT Women's Champion. She got Shayna Baszler right there. She said former, or well, she didn't say former. She said one of the four horsewomen. I was like, well, Shayna's four horsewomen for the MMA version. She's like, next week you gotta face Bailey, and then she starts laughing. I was like, oh, got her. Bailey was not having that. She was not happy. And then Sasha was like, "What? Like, what? You be doing that to me, so why can't I do that to you?" She didn't say that, but that's pretty much what she was saying. So that was hilarious. Um, and then so I'm gonna give that all of that. I'll give it all a B. It wasn't bad. Um, it gives you a little taste of what Shane and Sasha can do. Like when they get that one good one-on-one match, it's gonna be good. And this is just a little teaser that was gonna happen at SummerSlam and stuff like that. They showed the underground thing, and it was just pretty much shoot fighting. Well, shoot fighting, work shoot fighting, and it's pretty decent. Um, and then Street Profits come out. They want all the smoke. Um, they get Angelo Dawkins. He's feeling that bachelor girl, and Montez Ford was like, "Nah, let's get serious. Gotta get serious." And he's talking about, "You attacked my brother." We say fam, but we're brothers. That's family. So you want to attack us? You want the smoke? Then come get the smoke, and we're gonna beat that ass. So they come out. First up is Angelo Dawkins versus Angel Garza. Angel Garza has no offense really. Angelo Dawkins is out here. He's just like pouncing him into like plexiglass, and he's beating him up. And then out of nowhere, Montez Ford is out cheering him, and out of nowhere he just like collapses, just like passes out. I was like, what in the world's going on there? And Angelo Dawkins, of course, goes to his boy. He's like, oh my God, what's going on? And he gets distracted. Angel Garza super kicks, basement drop kicks to the face. 1, 2, 3, Angel Garza wins. Coming back from commercial because Angel Dawkins still like by his side or whatever like that. Come back from commercial. He goes, now it's Montez Ford versus Andrade. This match was a little longer. It's a little bit more story. Montez Ford is playing off of that head injury or whatever like that, and he it's pretty much like not really into it, but then he'll get like really really into it again. Like the adrenaline for him starts kicking in again. He starts doing like jumping over, doing suicide dives and like uppercuts and doing all this stuff, and like it's like really good. And then Andrade just like pow pops him right in the face. He collapses a little bit. And then I guess the adrenaline got to him again. He gets up, he like hits him, goes over the top rope, jumps over the top rope, jump rope, Sui Saito, whatever they call it. He gets back in the ring. He does the ultimate warrior type thing. He's like, ah, and then he just passes out. And then the bell rings, and nobody knows what's going on. Um, and then uh, I'll just cut back and I'll just finish this whole segment. Um, they're talking about what's going on, and my and Kayla goes. She goes to check up on him a little bit, and then Angel Garza comes in, gives him the rose like he did to that bachelor girl. Sweet talks her, and Zelina comes like, "Hey, we want to be champions, but I understand. Montez Ford. We feel bad. We feel bad for him. We don't want nobody to get hurt or whatever." And then Angelo Dawkins comes in. He goes, and the update is like he had poisoning, like he got poisoned or something like that. As soon as he comes out, Bianca Belair comes out. She is no happy, no bueno. She is not feliz. She comes in and she was like, Zelina, ooh, girl, I swear to God, Did you poison my husband? I know you the brains of this operation. Takes off her hair. She's talking. She just does that. Puts him down. Starts spanking Selena. Just whooping her, and then everybody pulls her off of her. Angel Garza's trying to pull her off. Andrade's in the middle. Hey, hey, tranquilo, tranquilo. So that's the thing that Montez Ford got poisoned. I'm gonna give this whole thing like a B. The matches were fine. The story is cool. I really, really want Bianca to be like in that title picture, but it's a little crowded right now. They got Sasha, they got Shayna, and they got Asuka right now. So this is fine for them right now. And then when it's all over, Bianca wins all the titles. Uh, so then after that, they Murphy's doing, he's watching his thing, watching the phone about what happened last week, and we see Seth Rollins. Seth is like, "Hey, whatever happens in the past is the past." Murphy said, "Yeah, cool. What do you think about that challenge that Dominic said?" He's like, "It's crazy. He's not a wrestler." He's like, "Don't you think that's crazy?" And Seth is evil smiling, and Murphy's like, "You're a weirdo." More underground stuff, and the Viking Raider, Eric from Viking Raider, is just murdering everybody, and it's great. The 7 foot tall guy is murdering everybody, and it's great. And Joe even made a statement. It was like, "Hey, I kind of wish that I was part of this, and if he was part of this, it would have been great, like Frosted Flakes." Uh, so that, yep. So towards the end of the last part of the segment, um, they announced some things I don't remember. I ain't gonna hold you. But Seth comes out and he pretty much talks about he was talking about the greater good, and he was talking about he's going to address Dominic later. But first, what he's going to do is he's going to address a different matter, and the different matter is Tom Phillips. I was like, Tom Phillips? I was like, what? Oh, before I get to that, I'm sorry. Completely forgot about that. Actually, I'll talk about it at the end. So he's talking about Tom Phillips. So he talks about him like, hey, Tom Phillips, aren't you supposed to be like the voice? You like, are you good at you like? Do you like your job? Do you like find integrity in your job? It's like because um, the job of a commentator is supposed to be impartial, but last week instead of being impartial, you were uh, jumping up and down and like laughing and having a good time when Dominic was beating us up. So I think it's time, pretty much in the ballpark you were saying, pretty much I think it's time for a new commentator. And he gets up in his face and he's, Tom Phillips all sad. And he goes, Murphy, handle this. And then, Samoa Joe, that's my boy, Samoa Joe. He stands up and he goes, skirt, uh-uh, no you're not. He's like, so what you're not going to do is come anywhere near my broadcast partner. He said, you can try all that foolishness, you can try to intimidate all that, but you're not going to do that over here. He's like, so what you need to do is go back in that ring and finish your little statement you was going to do, or I will slap you in your face and I will take out your little disciple boy in front of you. He said, what do you want to do? And then Seth Rollins was like, yo, Joe, you really do not want to do this. Samoa Joe said, yeah, I really do. Takes off his headset. So nicely goes like that. They run in the ring. Commercial comes back. Joe is about to spank some people. But out of nowhere, Dominic comes out. He starts beating people with candlesticks and stuff like that. Yo, Dominic is out here like, look, say whatever he wants about him talking. He's nervous. That's fine. My boy is smooth in the ring. He is smooth. He's out here drop kicking people. Hit a nice 619 on Seth. Yo, low key. Seth Rollins versus Dominic might be fire. It might low key be fire, and I'm here for all of this. All of it. It's gonna be fire. And then and then my boy Samoa Joe gets back on commentary like, "Hey, don't worry about it, Tom. Don't worry about it, Tom. You see this? You see this great whooping that he's giving to. That's how you do it. He's coming in revenge. He's coming in high and then sending them boys pack. Boy, you said that he don't know what he's doing. Now I don't know exactly what he's doing. He's coming in. He wants a piece of that Messiah. I was like, oh." He was, and then Tom Phillips is all there looking all sad and stuff like that. Like, don't worry, Tom, I got your back. He's all good. You see that? You see that whooping he put on them boys? Samoa Joe so good. Oh man, yeah. I hope that's a thing. I hope it's a thing. Samoa Joe just gets on commentary. He just beats people up and then go back on commentary like nothing happens. Oh, it's the best. Oh, that's woo. Yes. Oh yeah, I like all of that. I like every part of that. That's A. That's an A. I don't care. That's an A. Samoa Joe is about to put the boots to everybody. Boots to faces, everybody. All right, so yeah. So the last part of the segment is this underground, more of this underground stuff. They before I get to the underground stuff, they also did. They talked about the this group of people, like this group, the stable that was supposed to like debut. They show a group of people who like burned something down or whatever, like lit something like barrels down to the fire, and they was all cheering and they ran away. So I guess whoever they are might show up next week. That might be a thing. But so of course MVP still isn't happy. But also there was a match. I said earlier that the 24/7 championship was stolen, and it was stolen by R-Truth because of course it was. They're supposed to have a triple threat match. It's R-Truth, Shelton Benjamin, and Akira Tozawa for the titles for the 24/7 championship. Um, Shelton Benjamin lays boots to everybody. He's laying out Truth. Akira Tozawa sneakily gets out the ring because of course he does. Because he's trying to do some stuff like that, but it doesn't work. So he exits out the ring. All the ninjas try to do something, but the Hurt Business beats them all up. Shelton Benjamin gets up and beats them up. And then Shelton Benjamin beats up Truth. Truth is laid on the floor. They're out. Everybody's outside. Kira Tozawa climbs up to the top. Boom! Senton bomb. 1, 2, 3. New 24/7 champion. He hightails it with his ninjas. So they're all having bad days. They're saying, "Hey, it's kind of convenient how this is all happening." While Shane McMahon also conveniently does this underground mess. So I guess we're gonna take a part of it. So they come back. They're gonna go in there. Dolph Ziggler is doing like amateur style wrestling on people. He taps somebody out. Oh, this one big 7 foot guy from like I think he was like one of their tall ninjas. Was beating up people. He's beating up everybody. It was pretty great. And then Her Business come out and they're like, and Shane McMahon was like, "Oh, look, the Hurt Business. Yeah, you want some of this? Yeah, come here and get some of that action." So he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, we run this place now. Bobby, you go up in there." He goes in there and he starts destroying people, just elbows and fists and just throwing people. MVP was like, "Hey, hold up, hold up, hold up. I want some of that. You look like you having fun. I want some of that action." He goes in there, he gets some of that action. Shelton Benjamin is up next, and Shelton Benjamin gets some of D.L. Madden, who's in there, which I like. I like D.L. Madden. Yes, please, more of him. He gets beat up. Everybody gets tossed out the room. Oh, before I go, my boy, oh, no, there wasn't. Was it Ivar? Ivar started beating people up. He kneed somebody in the face, and I just think he like threw him out the ring. It was hilarious. But Bobby Lashley did the same thing. Like he did it. He throws everybody out the ring, and then they beat everybody in the club up or in the underground up. So looks like this is going to be a weekly thing. And if it's after 10 o'clock, like the 10 to 11 thing to like spike ratings, that's not a bad idea. Because like because first thing you do is like you get the first hour in and you're like, okay, now we gotta see what's going on. Let's see what's going on later. And then you get the second hour, like the 9 to 10. And you're like, okay, this is where your intrigue goes. And then you go oh, this underground, like what's going on? What's going to happen with the underground? What's going to happen? We need to know, and that's good stuff. And then that's how you like you get ratings to go. You want to see what's going on in this underground. You want to see who's shoot work fighting. You want to see what's going on. So that's good. That's good stuff. Um, and definitely, Shane McMahon said we're going to do this again next week, which I'm all for. I'm if that's something they're going to do, I'm into it. If they get some of these underutilized, guys who are really doing anything in stories, and you just see them like shoot, shoot, like beating people up. I want to see like I hope they do a thing where they have like shoot like wrestlers, like they have like they how they had Ivar or they had Eric in one of them, and then they had Dolph in another one. Why not have the thing where you can do like Bobby Lashley in one, and then do him versus like Eric in like a shoot fight? Like they really like ground and pound and do some like really heavy hitting and go on for like 5-10 minutes and see like what goes on. Like I'd like if that's something they do, I would be into that. So I'm gonna give that I'm gonna give all that MVP stuff A minus. I'm gonna give it an A minus because throughout the whole thing he was great. He was yelling conspiracy and then the end stuff was really really good. And I'm really intrigued to see what's gonna happen next week when they do this again. I'm really intrigued about this Randy Orton, Dolph Ziggler. Low key excited for this Dominic Seth Rollins thing that's going on. Interested in Bailey versus Oscar next week. The winner's gonna face. If she wins, she gets to face Sasha Banks. Looking forward to this new stable that's supposed to be coming up. All in all, the Raw was not bad for being a promo heavy thing. Oh, and Samoa freaking Joe. I'm gonna give the show a B minus. Now I know what you're saying. You're like Matthew. You just said it was like really good for a lot of promos, and that's exactly why it gets a B minus because there was not a lot of wrestling. It was just a lot of promos. The promos were really good, but the wrestling was just there. So I think a B minus is very fair. Hopefully next week they do more wrestling and get more stuff like that out. But that's it. What did you think of Raw? What did you think of this? Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And I'll see you maybe tomorrow. If there's more wrestling news and more updates and stuff like that, I'll let you know. One more thing I will say, because I know it's going to be 40 minutes. Uh, they did talk about, because I was doing news earlier, and they was talking about there being a draft. So they're thinking about doing a draft. I think Fightful Select said that they was planning on doing a draft, but they didn't know if it was going to be like September or October. They were saying it was like they was keep switching back and forth the 2 days, so they don't know what's really going on. But if there's a draft, that's going to be great. They get to switch up the roster. I hope that they include NXT. They get some of them NXT guys from Raw and SmackDown. Get some of them who's not really being used. Freshen them up. And those guys who's ready for ready to be on Raw and SmackDown. That they go on that show and stuff like that. So that's just a little thing that I wanted to add at the end. I'll see you guys next time. Hasta luego. Peace.